Good afternoon, class. It's Frances Gillard. Getting ready to start week 4 discussion post. Just wanted to highlight a couple of questions that we have posed to us for week 4. So here we go. Factors that might affect industry growth are the world of internet downloading. When you think of music today, you don't think I'll go out and buy a CD or I'll buy uh, something on MP3. But when you think about music, videos, that sort of thing, you think about internet and internet downloading. If you take into play Google and YouTube, anything that you want is accessible through those engines pretty much. Even in the third world countries or other countries, so to speak, you have the UK, Switzerland, Spain, the Netherlands. There is even such a thing as called Spotify. Spotify is a new fast download for Mac users. So things that would affect industry growth is completely, unequivocally internet downloads. Anything that you want, you can get without leaving your home or leaving your office. So internet downloads definitely affected. And me as an artist, as an entrepreneur, when I think about that, that affects unit sales. Anything that I would want, I have to take into play producing, rapping, producing a CD to sell because it might be better accessible through the internet. So, internet downloading is definitely something that would affect the industry growth. For this particular question, there are no real innovations or developments when it comes down to the music industry, so to speak. But when you think about government regulations, the main thing that jumps out is the infringement part. When you look at how much music is digitally downloaded in today's society, that brings into play copyright infringement, which in most cases is not necessarily that you had to know ahead of time that you were infringing, but just the mere fact of one downloading the music without the proper permissions or without paying for the music first is copyright infringement. Here comes into play the sticky part about it. Most entrepreneurs or new upcoming uprising artists don't have the finances in place to obtain an attorney to prosecute and to carry out what's necessary for them to recuperate their finances and what has been lost to them. So that comes into play, which I'll throw a little more information in that into my paper. But when you think about that, like I said, there's no new developments, no major innovations except for how fast the modern world of technology is moving. So I'm sure in the near future, with the iPad now going to the iPad 3, that there will be some new innovations that come into place. But when you think about it, just the world of digitally downloading music is what the main thing is. And it affects the artist and the songwriter in a negative way. It could be a positive way. It affects the person receiving the music that's digitally downloading the music. It affects them in a positive way, of course, because they're getting the use of the music for free and what they want and when they want it. But to us, it is negatively affecting us that the music is being downloaded so often without paying for it or going through the proper channels. At this time, I don't really see any consumer trends, so to speak. In my industry, I deal with primarily in the gospel field, not just don't focus on music in general, which I probably should. But as far as the competitive environment, I really believe that that is, even in the gospel industry in music, it is so very competitive. There are artists upon artists, songwriters everywhere you look, and you've got to be on your game, learning, constantly learning, I would say, the music, the industry, the field. So competitiveness is definitely there. You have to know what you're doing, know what the next person is doing, and stay on top of it. So that's staying on top of the internet. Everything is done via internet with YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. The next new and up and coming artist normally is put out there on YouTube, um, in the local churches as well. So music industry, the competitiveness is there. So we'll do a little more research and find out how very competitive it is, and what we have to do to stay on top of the market. So hopefully it's been a little informative, and good luck to all of my classmates.